Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Classically, we are the Office Blokes. It's a Monday.
We're just waking up from the last request.
Yeah, you may notice something looks a bit different about us today.
Yeah. Had my haircut.
That's
what it is.
Yeah, he's had his
Must
haircut,
be.
so there you go. That's all you need to know about that. The US $800 billion aircraft carrier is
a lot of money,
finally
isn't it?
ready for action.
800 billion?
It's a lot of money, that, isn't it?
Wow.
Someone sent me this in a DM, and I thought I'd never even heard of it. And we've done life aboard an aircraft carrier and all this sort of stuff. The thumbnail looked insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything we've reacted to before.
Right. So this
It's
is
a lot
like
of
this is a brand new one, then I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's finally ready for action. So it's literally just.
So it's new video and
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if it's been. I don't know if it's in commission, if it's like out at sea, or if it's just ready to
It
be
looks like
launched.
it's, if that's a picture to go by, it looks like it's ready.
I know, but there'll be loads of testing and stuff.
Sea
before it's
trials
actually
and
in
stuff like they
service.
do, don't they? I suppose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, let's find
Wow.
out what $800 billion gets you in aircraft carrier terms.
One in every 4 aircraft carriers in the world belongs to the U.S., and the total combined deck space of the American aircraft carriers is more than double that of all other nations combined. When it comes to aircraft carriers, the U.S. is unmatched. And the new $17 billion USS Gerald Ford supercarrier would make that even more so, despite efforts of other nations to keep up. The USS Gerald Ford is the lead of America's first class of aircraft carriers in over 4 decades, and its deployment is something more than the usual $17 billion USS Gerald Ford meet the new American flagship. It is an introduction of the world to the next generation of aircraft carriers. The next generation of aircraft carriers would be the ultimate symbol of the military might of the militaries that wield them. A mobile version of all lethality a country has to offer, and packed with all the advanced tech of the last decades. These massive floating air bases could win battles by intimidation alone. But there is a battle, if you will, for which would be the most intimidating, as a handful of other nations, like the US, also develop new lethal next-generation aircraft carriers. And it's our job to look at every single one of them in detail, starting with the headline maker. The Gerald Ford class is the name given to the carrier class that would birth the latest and most advanced aircraft carriers of the U.S. Navy. 10 carriers are planned for this class. 2 are currently in the works, while 1 has been completed and is active. This one is the USS Gerald Ford supercarrier. The USS Gerald Ford was already the most advanced carrier in the world before it was completed, and deservedly so. To build it, the U.S. Navy had to stop work on over 9,000 other projects. The supercarrier had a record-setting 100,000-ton displacement and featured a staggering 23 new technologies, 3 of which are industry marvels. Number 3. Nuclear power propulsion. 2 Bechdel A1B nuclear reactors, the most cutting-edge engine.
Did you say number 3 and had a number 1 next to it? Kind of did me head in a little bit, that. Put me off a little bit.
I don't know, but he also said 800 billion and he's
Yeah, I
talking
know.
17.
I know, yeah. It's a bit off, isn't it?
Did you see a couple of weeks ago that there was a Russian aircraft carrier or whatever it was going past, not an aircraft carrier, a warship, going through the channel?
No?
And they had to be shadowed by the English Navy.
Right.
And he said it's carrying hypersonic missiles. It's going to the Middle East, on its way to the Middle East. And I'm like, just fucking sink it. Sink it now. Get it now.
Yeah. So they're selling hypersonic missiles to the Middle East. Is that the...
He was en route to the Middle East, it says.
Yeah.
Something, they were doing war games, like, I don't know, practicing or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And in the just off the coast of the English Channel, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, probably in the Atlantic or wherever.
It's an act of war, though, isn't it? So if they poke the bear and then we attack, and then
It's our fault then, isn't it?
yeah,
Exactly.
get some pirates on board, get them to hijack it, and then it's nothing to do with us.
Created for use on water, power the USS Gerald Ford. As a result, the carrier can run for 25 years at a time without refueling, and with a max speed of around 30 knots. The supercarrier could access every country on the planet just in time to pay friendly visits to allies and wreak havoc on adversaries. Number 2. American fighter jets and UAVs. Up to 75 fighter jets and UAVs can call the USS Ford home at any given time. This includes the Navy's favorite child, the 5th generation F-35C Lightning II, whose development program remains the most expensive weapons development program of the Pentagon to date, with a reported cost of $400 billion. The result of such an expensive program is a fighter that can do it all: close air support, vertical takeoff and landing, and everything in between. And when the Navy's 6th generation F/A-XX fighter comes to life, the USS Ford is already equipped with the technologies required to host, launch, and arrest it.
So it's probably 800 billion.
Added it all up with
everything in there.
Fully loaded with all the tech and everything.
Leather seats, air conditioning.
Imagine you turn up at an architect's home saying, listen, what to build an aircraft carrier and putting down a blank piece of paper and your head would explode, wouldn't it? How do you go about putting plans together to build something like that?
Must be
it's
years.
Absolutely incredible.
Years
it's got to be
just to design.
Can you imagine all the detail got to go into it? Gee,
You'd actually think by the time they build it, it's probably out of date, isn't it?
They're probably working on the next ones already, aren't they? I would guess. It must take that long.
As long as it's more advanced than everyone else's, though, then you're all right.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Number 1. Advanced Launch and Arrest Systems.
Number 3.
On the USS Ford is a revolutionary first-of-its-kind electromagnetic launch system to catapult every aircraft type into the sky in the shortest possible distance, and an arresting gear that saves them from becoming sea divers by grinding them to a sharp halt. These systems are designed for 4,100 takeoffs and 16,500 arrests before faults occur. However, this claim, impressive as it is, has not been proven. And as France is working on similar systems as these, how would the French carrier fare? France is now accelerating its new generation aircraft carrier program, Porte-Avions Nouvelle Génération, or PANG for short, which will replace the 38,000-ton Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier in service with the French Navy. Construction of the new aircraft carrier is to start in only 2 years. The PANG aircraft carrier is designed to be powered by 2 K-22 nuclear reactors that offer over 75% more tonnage than is available on the Charles de Gaulle it will replace. This enables the 75,000-ton aircraft carrier to achieve speeds of nearly 27 knots and have literally unlimited range. It could sail forever. The nuclear propulsion system would also provide enough power to optimally power the carrier's onboard systems. Of these systems are new generation electromagnetic catapults and arresters. The aircraft to be launched using these systems would likely initially be the Rafale M until the new 6th generation fighter developed by France, Germany, and Spain is introduced into service. A mock-up of this fighter was unveiled at the 2019 Paris Air Show, and its design was as much a beauty to behold as its specifications are a recipe for lethality. Unmanned drones would accompany this fighter into battlefield action. The drones would carry out subtasks assigned to them by the manned fighter. To utilize this manned-unmanned teaming from the aircraft carrier, the PANG is designed to host drones too. Aside from the US carriers, this would be the first carrier capable of such a feat. In addition to drones and up to 32 fighters, the aircraft carrier would also have a large number of helicopters on board. To operate all of these systems and air-based assets, the PANG will have a complement of over 2,000 sailors. All of these and more contribute to a price tag of about $5 billion. Moving on from the American ally to adversary, China has also been making impressive aircraft carrier moves of its own. China has the second largest fleet of aircraft carriers in the world, and their third, the Type 003 Fujian, is everything to write home about in Mandarin. The Fujian was launched on June 17, 2022, with designs eerily similar to that of the American supercarrier. For one, it does away with the assisted takeoff ramps of its predecessors. Only launched a few months ago, the Fujian remains a new aircraft carrier, and like any flagship military equipment, not much information has been released about it. However, there's enough to know just what the aircraft carrier could offer. Like the American supercarrier, it features electromagnetic launch systems, but only has 3 of them as opposed to the US's 4. The Fujian has a conventional steam turbine-based propulsion system, which is in many ways inferior to a nuclear propulsion system. The Fujian has a displacement of 80,000 tons, making it 20% lighter than the Ford's 100,000 tons. And with this smaller size comes a smaller air wing, although the exact number of supported aircraft is uncertain at this time. Whatever the count, it's certain to give the Chinese Navy multiple options to execute missions. And with the electromagnetic launch systems active, virtually all kinds of aircraft can take off from the Fujian. The Fujian is the first indigenous Chinese aircraft carrier to take center stage in the battle for aircraft carrier dominance. And that in itself marks a major milestone in the building capacity of China and a milestone in the ever-growing might of the Chinese military. Not many borders away, though, one of China's closest neighbors is also making impressive strides in the aircraft carrier space. This country is South Korea.
I think one thing's for sure is the world is arming up at the moment, isn't it? Everyone's doing it.
We just got a new one, haven't we, not long ago?
Have we?
Is it called the Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah, I think it may be. I don't think we had one at all for a few years, did we?
I think we've got a few, but I think one of them's been maybe decommissioned. When the new one came out.
That's right.
The South Korean CVX is an aircraft carrier under development for the Republic of Korea Navy, their first aircraft carrier ever. The CVX is a result of a modernization program of the Republic of Korea Navy that began in 2001. This program is referred to as a Blue Water Navy and has been responsible for the most advanced South Korean sea-based assets, such as the Sejong the Great class, Chungmugong Yi Sun-sin class, the Incheon class frigates, Type 214 submarines, and the Dokdo class amphibious assault ships upon which the CVX aircraft carrier is based. The CVX will feature an axial flight deck, similar to those used by the Tarawa, Wasp, and America class ships of the United States Navy. In August 2020, the South Korean Ministry of Defense confirmed that 20 F-35Bs would be procured for the CVX. In terms of rotary wing aviation, the ship will accommodate the future marine attack helicopters of the Republic of Korea Marine Corps. The 45,000-ton aircraft carrier would have a top speed of 27 knots and come at a cost of $1.8 billion. The CVX is expected to be commissioned in 2030 and enter service in 2033, cementing South Korea's flag in the aircraft carrier operating nations of the Asian continent, along with China, Japan, India, and Thailand. So, South Korea, China, France, and the US are four of the most notable nations thirsty to improve their military might projected across the seas. The 2030s, when most of these aircraft carriers will officially enter service, is sure to be an interesting one. But until then, when the aircraft carriers can actually go head-to-head, the papers and theories and calculations suggest that the most lethal aircraft carriers are the American Gerald Ford supercarriers, the lead of which has already been deployed. An aircraft carrier of the future, unleashed today. To speed up the deployment of the second, subscribe to this channel and give this video.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Like
it's years away.
Must be cumulative then, the 800 billion. So it's kind of clickbaity, isn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, it's everything that goes onto it as well, isn't it? All the aircraft and the
10
development
years away
costs, I suppose.
from launching.
What
Anything could happen in 10 years, right? And I guess you've got to start somewhere to build something that's going to carry all this kind of shit.
That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, but not surprised it'd take a long time to build anyway.
But you think how many countries don't have aircraft carriers?
Switzerland.
Pointless. There's one in a lake somewhere.
Switzerland just lend people money to build their aircraft carriers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I think we've. Is it one or two we've got at the moment?
I think it's 5.
Is it 5? That many? Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm not sure. I didn't think we had that many though. But yeah.
How many do you need?
Well,
I don't know, because it depends what type of war we'll see in the future. You know, if it's a full-blown World War III, like the Second World War, we're going to need stuff like that. But if
but America's got it. Just phone them up. Need that ship over here, mate.
How did that work for the Second World War? We had a few years of fighting without them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did all right in the end.
I mean, things like this. I mean, a lot of it is classed as like a deterrent as well, isn't it? I think I'd guess having aircraft carriers and knowing that you could, flex your muscles, knowing that you could turn up any part of the world with all that, armory on board. Then of course it's flexing.
It's a serious firepower on.
Then other countries like China, they have to do like for like, don't they, to a certain extent, and show that they've got something. So it's to a certain extent cancel each other out, I suppose. But they're absolutely huge pieces of kit. They're absolutely incredible.
Insane. It's mind blowing.
Yeah,
I'd love to go on one and have a good look round.
That'd be great.
That'd
be amazing. Getting on something like that,
especially a more modern one,
even
not like an older one.
Yeah, I think even just seeing one close up live, it'd be absolutely incredible. I sometimes see planes or smaller boats, up close, look absolutely amazing. It's a bit different than seeing them on screen, isn't it? But it'd be great looking at one of those up close.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.